Hi everybody, this is Agnes from No Sediment, and today we're going to talk about 5 mistakes you should avoid when you're storing your wine. Not every wine is meant for aging, and certainly majority of wines are made for immediate consumption with their bright and lively fruit. Yet there are some wines, winemaking regions, appellations, and even certain grape varieties that have shown great aging potential, which means that they not only can hold for several years, but also develop tertiary aromas, adding towards complexity both on the nose and palate. If, just like me, you are a wine lover, chances are great that you have at least several bottles of wine that you have bought to open later, possibly after several years or even decade or more. Wines that are meant for aging will usually cost premium money, so it is very important to know what mistakes to avoid when cellaring your wine. You do not want to open a bottle of wine that you have stored for 5 or 10 years just to find out that it is spoiled or undrinkable. So no matter what the reason you hold your wine collection, and even if it's just a single bottle, these are 5 mistakes you should avoid. Do not store your wines vertically. This makes sense for all still wines under the natural cork, especially if you do not have a specific place to hold your wines in. Storing wine horizontally helps to keep cork moist and therefore elastic, sealing the wine and limiting the amount of oxygen that enters into the bottle. If the bottle is stored vertically for a long period of time, the cork might dry out and lose its properties. This will lead to increased oxygen permeability and faster maturation of the wine. Do not store champagne or any other sparkling wine horizontally. Aha! This one seems tricky. The thing is, the space between wine and cork, known as ouillage, is filled with CO2 molecules, and they keep the cork moist. Therefore, there is no reason for champagne bottle to be stored horizontally, because it actually even increases the risk for wine to be spoiled by cork taint or trichloroanisole. Do not store wines under the light or bright conditions, especially if your wine is bottled in transparent glass. I really don't think we talk about this enough because faulty wine damaged by light is more common than we actually think. Therefore, do not store your wines next to a window and turn off that light in your wine fridge and storage units that are oftentimes equipped with bright light just to highlight the best bottles you have. Wine constantly being under lit conditions can quickly develop off aromas caused by oxidation and volatile sulfur compounds. And while we're on the subject, do not remove that colored foil from your sparkling wine bottles. It is there to protect them. Do not store your wines at room temperature. While opinions differ at what temperature exactly we should be aging our wines, it is quite clear that temperatures above 15 degrees Celsius might accelerate wine aging. And as the temperature goes higher, it might even imprint cooked flavors into wine and show increased oxidation. If you do not have a specific cooling cabinet or wine fridge, it makes sense to store your wine lower to the ground rather than up in the shelves, because the warm air tends to go up. This is if you do not have floor heating. Do not store your wines for too long. I don't buy my wine for investment. 90% of my wine collection is bought directly from winemaker, and most of these wines have great story behind them. Therefore, I plan to enjoy these wines at some point. I have been emotionally attached to some of the very special or expensive bottles of wine for way too long. And when I finally did open them, they were past their prime. And winemakers do make their wine to be enjoyed, to be opened up and drunk, and bring laughter and joy into our faces. Wine past its prime might not do that. So I invite you all to not hold back that special bottle of wine for too long. So here you go. These are 5 mistakes you should avoid when you're storing and aging your wine. If, however, you open a bottle of wine and it seems off, and you do not know why is that, you should watch my other video on 6 most common wine faults.